After some thorough research, I figured out where Errol Spence's hate and the disdain and disgust for him comes from. Because it's damn sure not from boxing. Well, not from boxing how y'all think. Let's talk.
Straighter, not a roundhouse right hand.
And that's what we've been talking about. The straight shot is the one where he gets leverage on it.
I don't want to kill
Pull
somebody
back
for
a little bit.
seconds.
Nah, I want a body on my record.
Now, I want to see you fight motherfuckers. I do. All right, I'm with you. I'm with you. As long as you're trying to fight the great, the best competition.
Welcome to the graveyard. Click the link if you dare to. Bury you alive, I'm prepared to. Welcome to the graveyard. You get your sources from clowns, so when you come around, we don't hear you. Welcome to the graveyard. Click the link if you dare to. Bury you alive, I'm prepared to. Welcome to the graveyard. You get your sources from clowns, so when you come around, we don't hear you. Yo, it's the best, fight the best. If you ain't with the moto, just click the link, bitch, and get buried like the rest. It ain't gonna work how you want it. These trolls already tried, too many come but don't leave. So if you hear, you gotta die. I'm spitting straight facts. These bitches crying cause they hate that. The LDBC's the top topic, bitch, hate that. We the ones that bring the truth to these fans. So while you hate, I'ma laugh and keep counting these bands. Welcome to the graveyard. Click the link, get prepared to. Bury you alive, I'm prepared to. Welcome to the graveyard. You get your sources from clowns, so when you come around, we don't hear you. Welcome to the graveyard. Click the link if you dare to. Bury you alive, I'm prepared to. Welcome to the graveyard. You get your sources from clowns, so when you come around, we don't hear you.
Welcome to the graveyard.
I was thinking about this. I have been thinking about this for a long time. Where and why anyone would have a disdain or a disgust or a hate for another individual. I was thinking about this for a while. Like, I can explain Terrence Crawford's. I can explain my disdain for that. That's very simple. I've explained it multiple times, but I will in another video. But for this one, I literally had to think about where it came from for Errol Spence. Now, there's a very, very long history of where it stems from, but I'm going to cut to the history that we know. All right, I'm going to cut to the history that we know. Oscar De La Hoya was beloved. You know, he had the complexion for the protection. That's what they always would say when they talked about Oscar De La Hoya. The same thing that they're trying to do with Ryan Garcia now, but with Oscar De La Hoya, it was always, oh, he's so handsome. I don't know why the fuck that mattered, but whatever, it did to them. You know, he had the complexion for the protection. He was an Olympian, you know, and he was following up the guy that they really didn't want to like, right? But they had the lesser of two evils when it came to Marvelous Marvin Hagler, who they hated. They hated Hagler, right? They did not like Hagler at all. He was not the fan favorite for the people who move the needle, right? He was not the fan favorite for the people who have the suits, you know, that want to project a certain image onto the public. He was not the fan favorite. Sugar Ray Leonard was the fan favorite for those people in the suits. But even he didn't have the complexion for the protection, right? He didn't have that. But that transition from Sugar Ray Leonard went to Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar De La Hoya had it. He had what they was looking for, right? The complexion for the protection, the looks, you know, the fact that he wasn't black, pretty much. Yeah, he was of Mexican descent. Yeah, he was, but he blended in with white people. I'm not trying to be racial. It just is what it is, man. He blended in with white people, right? They could look at him and they could relate. That relatability is what caused a desire for him, is what raised his sales and all kinds of stuff. It allowed him to get away with robbing Sweet Pea and, you know, fighting old-ass Chavez and people, oh, man, bro, this was great. He beat you. Yeah, because he was allowed to do that because of the suits that were pushing that propaganda on him, that were building that image of him, right? They were building that image of him because that image of him resembled them. He might not have been as pure and as fair as in skin, but his skin resembled them more than a Hearns, more than a Hagler, more than a Ray Leonard, right? Way more. And he could speak English better than a Duran. Not to say Duran couldn't speak English, but Oscar De La Hoya was like, he didn't have the accent that you could look at him and tell, dang, I guess he is Mexican. No, Oscar De La Hoya had what they was looking for. He had that to present to the people, to present to undercover racists who don't want to claim their racism. They don't want to act like they're racist. They say they're not racist, but they really are, right? So they can get behind Oscar De La Hoya. And they do it now to this day as well, but they do it now. But at that particular time, they could get behind that, right? Well, Floyd Mayweather came along. Floyd Mayweather was everything they were against. Everything they were against. Everything. He did not have the complexion for the protection. He was mouthy, he was brash, and he was very good. Right? So a mouthy, brash person who was extremely good. Floyd was looked at as a knockout artist back then. Right? You had to keep people away from him. You couldn't put him in there with the people that he wanted to fight. He would upset everything that they were building all this time with Oscar De La Hoya and building into sport of boxing and their propaganda machine. The machine was pushing. Floyd was going to upset all that if they would have put him in there, which why they didn't put him in with Oscar for a very long time. But Oscar, being built by the machine, all brash and cocky his damn self, but with the complexion for the protection, right? He was able to just skate on and make the golden boy and all this other type of goof ass shit that everybody, oh man, look, this guy's legendary, great, blah, 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 yada, yada. That's what he was able to do, which is fine. I'm not knocking that. I'm not knocking that. Get your money. But I want you guys to understand this road, right? It went from Sugar Ray Leonard, who they liked, Marvelous Marvin Hagler, who they didn't, Oscar De La Hoya, who they liked, Floyd Mayweather, who they didn't. They did not like Floyd Mayweather. They hated Floyd Mayweather. They only like Floyd Mayweather now because he goes against the grain his damn self. And they can say, oh, we got us a good old boy. You know, they didn't like Floyd Mayweather. They hated Floyd Mayweather. Matter of fact, you could potentially say the LDBC was started because of the hate for Floyd Mayweather. You could put that, you could have an argument to say that. The racism and the hate and the disdain and the disgust for black fighters or black and brown fighters who just wanted to get a shot. You can say the LDBC was started because of that. I'm not gonna say that's exactly what it was. You would need 7-8 for that, but I mean it's a pretty understandable thing to say that, right? So you go from Ray Leonard, who they hated, to Ray Leonard, who they loved, to Hagler, who they hated. You go back from the hate to the love when it comes to Oscar De La Hoya, which goes right back to the hate for Floyd Mayweather. They hated him. They wanted him to lose against anybody. That's why Floyd was able to fight the fighters that he fought, because it didn't matter. They shitted on the fighter he fought before he fought him. They said he's not fighting the fighters that he should have fought, right? He ain't fighting the guys we want him to fight, but the only guy that you wanted him to fight that he didn't fight was Paul Williams or Antonio Margarito, and neither one of those was his fault. Neither one. They were both, the Paul Williams thing, they both of them say it was neither one of our fault on why this didn't happen, right? And then the damn Antonio Margarito thing was clearly their fault. They was trying to, he was the guy. They were trying to pay this man pennies. Whole different story. But he fought everybody else that we wanted him to fight, bro. But I'm going to get to that part. I'm going to get to that part in a second. All right? So from it, when it switched from the hate from Floyd, right, went to the love for Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao was built off of the hate for Floyd. Oscar De La Hoya was built off of the hate for the fighters before him. And you can say Hagler if you want to. I know people not going to, oh, I don't know about that. Whatever. Whatever. Yeah, it was the Sweet Peas, the Haglers, the Thomas the Hitman Hearns. Those guys were not really loved like that. Hearns was liked more than Hagler. And Ray Leonard was beloved. But whatever. You have the Floyd Mayweather who comes in to fight the Oscar De La Hoya who was beloved. The Floyd Mayweather and they hate, right? There's love, that love-hate relationship. Now they hate Floyd Mayweather. He beat Oscar De La Hoya. They hate that man. They despise that man. Don't matter what he says. Don't matter what he does. They hate him. Don't matter who he fights. It don't matter who he fights. Whoever he fights is a cherry pick. Whoever he fights ain't good enough. Whoever he fights is easy work. He's taking the easy way out. And then when he does fight, he's running, he's hiding, he's not really standing there, and blah blah blah, yada yada, all that type of goofy conversation. Because the sport is called boxing, to hit and not get hit. But whatever. In comes a man named Keith Thurman. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the light clicked on when I said that name. In comes Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman. Now, when Floyd Mayweather was calling to fight Oscar De La Hoya, they were shitting on Floyd Mayweather, not Oscar De La Hoya. They were saying, who does Floyd? Floyd don't deserve no Oscar. Who did Floyd fought? Who did Floyd beat? What did Floyd do? Floyd ain't nobody. How do you deserve Oscar De La Hoya? Blah, blah, blah. Floyd had to buy himself out of his contract to get that fight. It was Oscar De La Hoya's pompousness on the reason why and the fact that he believed he was going to beat this man, which is why he moved him up to his weight class, a weight that Floyd had never fought at, which don't nobody talk about. And Floyd just took it. Yeah, he moved him up and gave him extreme low bread. But again, Floyd knew this wasn't just a regular fight. Beating this guy, who they claim was the face of boxing, beating this guy, the golden boy, beating this guy, the money man, beating this guy, the guy that's beloved and loved by the people, beating that guy would make Floyd Mayweather the man. It would make him the man. Because Oscar was the face of boxing. When Floyd beat that man, Floyd became the face of boxing. When Floyd beat that man. So, now Floyd is the face of boxing. He's hated. They despise that man. It's a disgusting thing for that man. They can't stand him. So, as a despised man that they can't stand and they hate, they picking everybody to beat him. They going picking everybody over him. Everything that they can possibly do. He's always putting them on ESPN and HBO, and they're just degrading them. They're having everybody that interviews him degrades them and downs them and disrespects them. Says, when are you going to fight somebody? Even if he got in the ring with the people we were asking, we were saying he wouldn't fight. He got in there, he beat them, and then the next thing you know, it's, oh, well, you ain't going to fight this guy, which turned into Pacquiao. Right? Did everybody else just faded to black, and it was just Pacquiao. You won't fight Pacquiao. When are you going to fight Pacquiao? Although Floyd Mayweather was the one that called out Manny Pacquiao. Not Manny Pacquiao. It was Floyd that called out Pacquiao. And the only reason why that fight didn't happen in 2010 is because Pacquiao refused to do drug testing. These are facts. Then they moved the goalposts and muddied the water with a whole bunch of other stuff, but whatever. That hate and disdain for Floyd Mayweather. The savior was the guy who had the complexion for the protection, or maybe not the full complexion, but it was close enough. There's Sugar Ray Leonard. There's Sugar Ray Leonard, the guy that come back and to fix to right the wrongs and get the suits feeling good about themselves because someone that resembles them or is close to it, or they can look in the mirror and see him over this guy. They can see Keith Thurman. They can see themselves in Keith Thurman more than they can see themselves in Floyd Mayweather because their skin tone and the guys with the suits and the guys that's pushing that propaganda machine to the sheep, which is the casual fans. Y'all are sheep. So pushing it to you guys, it was Keith Thurman. Now Floyd got to fight Keith Thurman. Why can't Floyd fight Keith Thurman? Floyd's ducking Keith Thurman. Thurman was the guy that the suits, the people that push in the propaganda machine, old media, the liars, the people that can push it to the casual sheep and have the casual sheep running out here saying all this goofy shit about Floyd and all this goofy shit about Keith Thurman is the guy. Those people that push that and the people who are the sheep that were back receiving it, Now Keith Thurman is the man. No one talked about Keith Thurman's resume. No one talked about who the fuck did Keith Thurman fight to deserve to fight fucking Floyd Mayweather. Who the fuck did Keith Thurman fight? They said it to Floyd Mayweather. Who did Floyd Mayweather fight to deserve to fight Oscar? He don't even deserve this fight. He ain't this and he ain't that. Yeah, but what did Keith Thurman do to deserve to fight Floyd Mayweather? They just completely disregard that at all. They just blow that straight out the window. Don't matter. It don't matter. He's there and Floyd needs to fight him. Because you can look in the mirror and you can feel good about yourself. You're more closer to Keith Thurman than you are Floyd Mayweather. Yeah, way more closer. The complexion close enough for their protection, which is why they don't talk about Keith Thurman's resume. Because when they bring his resume up, the only fighters they talk about is Danny Garcia and Sean Porter. Both of those guys he fought were after he was supposed to be fighting Floyd Mayweather. Whatever. We'll get to that later date. In comes Errol Spence, the Olympian, the guy who blacked Floyd Mayweather's eye, the guy who went toe-to-toe in the doghouse. Now Errol Spence is calling out the guy that's supposed to save you guys from Floyd Mayweather. Errol Spence is calling out the guy that you guys can look in the mirror and you see yourself, even if you don't see an exact replica. Yeah, the powers that be, if you don't see an exact replica of yourself. But what you do see is someone that's more similar to you than Floyd Mayweather. They're more similar to you than Errol Spence. That's what you do see. Keefy Poo Keith Thurman. So now, because Errol Spence is going after Keith Thurman, because Errol Spence is trying to fight Keith Thurman, because Errol Spence is calling for this man, now all of a sudden it's fuck Errol Spence. Now all of a sudden it's Errol Spence and shit. Who did Errol Spence fight to deserve Keith Thurman? You never asked it about Keith Thurman deserving to fight Floyd Mayweather, but now you're asking about Errol Spence. Who did Errol Spence fight? Errol Spence ain't fight nobody. Who did he fight to deserve no Keith Thurman, man? You need to get your name up, build your name, go do this and go do that, and you need to do this. You got to fight this guy. You ain't fighting nobody, and these guys ain't ducking you. You're just saying they're ducking you. They're really not ducking you. They're really not. You can fight them. You just don't want them. That's what all of those narratives came pushing from on Errol Spence. And they were pushing on Errol Spence because Errol Spence was trying to fight the guy that the powers that be, the people with the suits, the people that looking in the mirror, and he looks more like them than Floyd does. They wanted that man to beat Floyd. That's what they wanted. They wanted that man to fight Floyd. That's what they wanted. That's what they wanted. Floyd had already beat Manny Pacquiao. Pacquiao's out the picture now. They wanted Floyd versus Keith Thurman. Andre Berto was ranked #1, but that didn't matter. They wanted Floyd versus Keith Thurman. Andre Berto, you couldn't look in the mirror and see you. That's why they'd be like, Andre Berto, come on, man. Andre Berto ain't shit. Andre Berto ain't nobody. Who is Andre Berto? Andre Berto ain't shit. Andre Berto's trash. Andre Berto's garbage. He ain't nobody. Berto. Man, Berto ain't shit, but he was #1. He was #1. But you just couldn't look in the mirror and see Andre Berto. You looked in the mirror and you saw more so Keith Thurman. That's why you wanted Thurman there. And then when Errol Spence started going after what you saw in the mirror, that's a problem for you, which is why the propaganda started to push on Errol Spence, which is why all the negativity started to push on Errol Spence, which is why niggas start shitting. You shit on Errol Spence now. The propaganda machine was pushed. The narrative was pushed on that man. And now you casuals, you sheep, you're stuck in your ways now. You don't even know how you got there. You just know when you're there now, and you're just like, fuck it, we're here now. We're here. That's the and I see it because y'all are the same ones that will shit on Errol Spence when it comes to this Terrence Crawford thing over and over again. They could have fought up a long time. He was ducking. Errol Spence didn't want no smoke. Errol Spence is scared. But then when Terrence Crawford comes out and says, this was the time we was going to fight. No one says, hey, man, wait a minute. What do you mean this was the time we was going to fight? What do you mean we did it right now at the right time? Well, but I thought you wanted to fight him in 2017 or 2018 or 2019 or 2020 or 2021 or 2022. I thought you wanted it back then. No one questions that because you're sheep. The machine got the ball rolling. That's why y'all don't question none of that. You just say, well, we're here now. We're here now. That's the same thing y'all say when it comes to Keith Thurman when he was trying to fight Floyd Mayweather. It didn't matter how he got to where he's at. He's here now. It don't matter. Oh, none of that matters. He's here now. He's here. Well, we'll just make the fight now. Well, do you want to see the fight? Do you want to see the fight? Don't matter. Make the fight right. That's where y'all go. Because you're sheep and you don't know any better. The narrative was pushed to you guys. The propaganda machine rolled down the road and y'all rolled right along with it. You don't even know why you're running. You don't even know why you're rolling down the street. You have no idea. Just the propaganda machine started running. You saw it running and you started running with it. You've ran so far that now you're like, bro, where did we start? And since you don't know where you started, you're just like, fuck it, we're here now. Fuck it, we're here now. We're here now, man. We're here now. Errol Spence's hate and disdain came when he was trying to fight Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman was the guy that they put up to fight Floyd Mayweather because Floyd Mayweather upset what they wanted in Oscar de la Hoya. Bottom line, that's where his hate comes from. That's where. And trying to fight Keith Thurman, that's where. And right now, when the machine looks in the mirror, when the machine looks in there, they see Terrence Crawford. That's what they see. They still see Keith Thurman. Because they'll tell you in a heartbeat, oh, Errol got to fight Keith. Errol got to fight Keith because it don't matter what Errol wants. You got to fight Keith. That's what they were saying last year. But they more so see Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford is their Sugar Ray Leonard. Terrence Crawford is, the circle just goes, right? Terrence Crawford is their Sugar Ray Leonard. That's why Sugar Ray Leonard was picking anybody. Because Sugar Ray Leonard knows what it is. Yeah, he knows what it is. It's Mikey. It's Mikey. He was part of that machine. I'm not knocking Sugar Ray Leonard. I'm just saying he was part of the machine. He knows what it was. That's why he got on that, went to that press conference, called Hagler to the press conference and told him he's never fighting him. Sort of sounds like Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence to me. Well, that fight's behind me. It's never going to happen. And now y'all are fighting. Whatever, man. Whatever, bro. Whatever. What they see right now in Terrence Crawford is Sugar Ray Leonard. That's what they see. In Errol Spence, they see Marvelous Marvin Hagler. The guy that beat Artur Firmo and wasn't supposed to beat him. The guy that was never even supposed to get a title shot. Yeah, that's what they see in Errol Spence. That's what they see. And what they see in Terrence Crawford is Sugar Ray Leonard. And they're hoping for the exact same outcome. They're hoping for the outcome. Where, in my opinion, Hagler was robbed. In my opinion. In a lot of people's opinion, he was robbed. But that's what they're hoping for. They're hoping for Terrence Crawford to replicate what Leonard did to Hagler. That's what they're hoping. This is not difficult, bro. It really isn't difficult. It really isn't. That's why Terrence Crawford really don't get no hate like that. Oh, man, they hate him, man. You hate him. I can explain my disdain for this man. You all cannot explain your disdain for Errol Spence. Even in these comments, watch the comments. They're not going to be explaining why they hate Errol Spence. They're going to be probably talk about this man drinking or car accident or his eye or some shit like that. They're not going to talk about where their disdain came from. Oh, you'll see my video on where my disdain for Terrence Crawford came from. I've said it multiple times, but I'm going to do it specifically in a video. Specifically. Just so you guys can't say, oh, man, you just hate it for no reason. No, there's a reason. There's definitely a reason. Which I've told you guys, but whatever. Now, what's the reason for Errol Spence's? I told you where it came from. Regardless if y'all saw it or not, it's the machine that was feeding you frogs in the pot, turning the heat up ever so slowly. Now the water is boiling and you're still sitting there and you don't even realize you're in the water. BFTB, shout out to the mighty LDBC, and I'm out.